Hello everybody, this is Robbie and welcome back to Neural Network November, and today we're taking a look at more Botnik. Starting off with royal wedding tabloids. Let's begin. But before that, if you like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified about my latest videos. If you like this video, hit the like button and comment about what you think of Botnik. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Plenty of honor at the kingdom. For the past 105 million years, life has continued to develop into ever more complex forms. That's actually true. All for the firestorm of royal majesty that will be the 19th of May. The royal couple watched sausages together. Before the wedding, Meghan must find Harry in Mexico. The prince will marry a number of visitors throughout the ceremony, then marry Meghan Markle at the big part with the Queen. You looking to do more than a threesome? The Queen's handbag will have its own seat at the front of the church. The royal company will leave the ceremony in a riverboat full of divorced people who look like them. Take a close look at that groom. He is really living up to his name. The Queen is obviously not invited. Exclusion? Prince Harry will be present at his wedding. Duh, it's his wedding. Allowing it to be held at all, which is also keen. Not invited. A spokesman for Harry called the news not important to his job. The Queen is expected to attend, even though her HuffPost reading club is meeting. Also able to enjoy this occasion, a riot, David Koch, two of the youngest Spice Girls, medical terrorist Natalie Grounds, 10 people who worked closely with Princess Di's memory, Joshua Joking, a former pop star, Tom from the future, Mr. French Bottom, and Lady Car Park. 4 months inside a bus just to plan the big day nibbles. An alarmingly cheeky experience for everybody. Prince Harry is obviously guaranteed to be fired by the Queen for only getting about 50 million sandwiches for the day. You idiot! I asked for 60 million, not 50 million! You are fired! Okay. For the wedding lunch, the couple have shunned old-fashioned plate food in favor of a river of snacks guests can drink from using their hands. The cake was a commission by a French person, which really says it all. Oh boy. Alright, that can mean either good things or bad things. I'm going with the former because, I don't want Botnik to be racist. Heels that can't come off. Miss Markle's eyes were designed by the Dean of Cambridge. Her haircut was dropped off a plane. Markle's dress was co-designed by all living James Bond, except George. Meghan is not following royal traditions and will wear underwear under her wedding dress. Because royal tradition doesn't do that? Who will be the Duke of the Day? Harry hasn't decided yet and will surprise us with his decision at the vows. Really, informal of him to procrastinate like this. Following the vows, the bride will be performing her one-woman show about marrying Prince Harry. A memorable family growing up. Meghan's... Meg sincerely wanted to make her family extended by 160 million people. The couple said, "I love you the best," and picked each other 2 times. That is the full details of their journeys. Far left, the royal farms of Windsor are calling. After Meghan Markle is currently generating tons of speculation over whether she is memorable. The royal wedding will make a joke of you in the little wedding that you would have. It is priced at 12 billion cucumber sandwiches. Okay, guess no one's attending the wedding. I wonder why. There will be more than 2 flowers and at least 28,000 snacks at the wedding. I mean, yeah, they're flowing down a river. Of course there's at least 28,000 of them. Gas experts who have crunched the numbers say they may have spent quite a lot on gas. As many as 1 million anarchists are expected to try and tie the royal couple to a bridge, but police will be there to stop the tying. Yes, the police will stop 1 million anarchists. On the day of love, Edinburgh will be auctioned off, starting at $12. If there is rain on the royal wedding day, Prince Philip has to stay inside because he is made of sugar. Oh my god! Oh, that is is amazing. Next! Now, obviously, after a royal wedding, the married couple will go on a honeymoon to all sorts of places, which is so they've created these postcards, or at least they would if they weren't currently trying to figure out how to get rid of the snack river. So they made a bot to do this. Let's see what it came up with. A Wonderland of Beans, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The 911 of Texas, Lubbock, Texas. Dead City, Brookings, South Dakota. Oh boy. We've never met a druid. Joliet, Illinois. The Jewel of the Alabama Desert, Phoenix City, Alabama. That's only if they go to the United States. The bot is still working on it, though. That said, if the royal couple decide to go somewhere else, like, say, a museum about penguins or something, they probably want to learn a bit about penguins beforehand. So, here we go. The emergence of penguins is also sometimes called penguins are the product of penguins. Oh, really? Okay, they interact only around the feet. Okay. The emergence of penguins is also sometimes called tobogganing. They interact only around their feet, yet another penguin is still born. Okay, those are some great facts. Next up. But wait, what if they don't like penguins? Well, maybe otters will do. Let's learn about otters in the Little Urgent Book of Animal Facts. One must never approach an otter. This is partly due to their general attitude, which is barbaric. They will eat fish in front of you, then escape before you can claim any fish. Clearly, otters belong in the Smithsonian and nowhere else. Oh boy, that's interesting information for the royal couple. Oh, the royal couple is still trying to get that snack river cleaned up. I think they're almost done with it now. Let's just read more. How about we read about more love, thanks to the New York Times. My marriage was just dinner. The first time he texted me words, I knew he wanted us to talk. Oh, love is a big kidney bean in a strange pot of soup. We met at a fairly long bar. The bar was one of those themed restaurants where the theme is that it's 700 feet long. He slid over to be next to me, but it took 8 minutes. Well, I mean, it is 700 feet long. Okay. Have you ever had sex with a fiddle? He asked me. I shook my head to say no. Because how would you even have sex with an instrument? Well, honey, I guess nobody is perfect, he said. He kissed me as if I were bleeding out, and he was a hungry animal in the night. When I look for a man, I use my eyes. Like everybody. It was built like a brick housekeeper with mortar for days and a deck that could hold a crowd. His hair was missing, but he wasn't bald. I guess he's shaved. I told him there'd be Persian cats physically installed against every wall in my apartment, and he shook like a wheelbarrow fish. What's a wheelbarrow fish? Certainly, his eyes were wet, but agreeable so. At least so. He looked less like he'd been crying than if he had been swimming in salt water and was sad he'd had to towel off. Huh? On our second date, we went to a cafe in Greenwich Village, where we shared a drink and a sorority wink. When he kissed me, his mouth was full of smoke and his eyes were visible in his head. He slid his arm around my body, and I was lost in my desire to become a priest, but I felt God in my arms. And in that moment, I chose my own struggles. Okay. One night, months later, we stopped for gas, and he apologized profusely for all the shouting matches he'd had with my Bichon Frise, Morris. His voice cut into my ears like a warrior's mighty punch. He said maybe it's finally time to read books about Gloucester. I listened harder, hoping to hear something about coyotes. It's about Gloucester. How would you... What? Does that even... His dad was a government guy who couldn't keep on trucking and had to sit down every few minutes. I loved that. I had thought about how his chest was an old English teacher and I wanted to kiss it. I wasn't sure what was happening. Me neither! My parents hated him. My friends hated him. I hated him. His wife was cool, so we kept on dating. So everybody hated him, but at least his wife was cool. Wait, he already has a wife. He already has a wife! What? Dearest, let's get married and start a family of fiercely independent goats, he offered one day. He said nothing about coyotes playing in the desert, but I could easily imagine that he had, so I looked past it. My heart swelled over my hip bones and spilled heavily on my lap as I gave my answer. Yes, I think I have to marry you so that I can join a big successful union in the future. End the relationship there. Like, just, no. Oh, yeah, I'm marrying you for, my own gain. No, marriage is supposed to be with true love. Yeah. We got married in a room with a priest and many people named Lauren. The church was made of wooden wood because I guess there's no other kind of wood that isn't true wood. The priest didn't protect my purity, but he did give me a magic ring that symbolizes rowdy marriage. You could say our wedding was like a real billiards game. I put him in the corner pocket for our vows. One day he divulged that he had 2 years earlier been a stand-up. I didn't know what to do. I was ashamed for him. My husband has never felt my dry spot. When I begged him to touch my personal desert, he said, "No way!" His taste in erotica? Let's just say it referenced Eraserhead a lot of the time. Who's Eraserhead? Then he left me. He smiled and said he was struggling with some 80,000 essays on the history of Yiddish. He had secretly become Jewish. He said he would write to me from his new apartment upstairs. He said he wanted a big brother and I just wasn't that. Yeah, you're a girl. Oh, I realized that my happiness depended so much on a second-hand couch and coffee table. I wanted to keep them, but they didn't want to stay. They just left like, no. That's the way it goes in a relationship that stopped being. It's just sadness. When I think back on it, especially after learning that his ex is very terrified of nitrogen, I see how we didn't entirely relate. He needed to always be selfish about the kinky pink sweatpants. What? I liked staring out at the university doctor who would sleep on our front yard. A relationship is like a pillow. You're supposed to keep it in the laundry room. Hide it behind blankets, and when they ask for how long before the other partner feels obligated to make clear that this is really annoying, say that is it for me to feel out. Okay, weird analogy. It was difficult to understand. It was a difficult thing to understand. But love is a big kidney bean in a strange pot of soup. Love is when we both cry at lawyers. Love is deeper and more mysterious than my womb. Okay, sometimes I go back to that long bar and quietly stare at football on the TV while politely breaking down. The tears begin, but when I remember the moment we met, I feel like a Kentucky Buddhist, and I can swear I hear coyotes raising a child in the kitchen. Holy shit! And the other articles? Dear Dad, I am gay and I mine Bitcoin for my husband's podcast. In love with a couch from California. Fetish for friendship. A sexy disaster. Glad the. Oh, look, the royal couple just finished up with cleaning the snacks thing. Just gonna go on to the next article. Yeah, the United States just won't do it's too weird. How about Norway? Visit Norway. Flush yourself into every smile. You need skin without feeling and sublime bronze light. Now you can comfort your hair with Flonase. We create smoother and softer legs by understanding every woman's most advanced smell. The only thing you feel is luscious creaminess of cheesecake in your hot stuff. It's natural. It's easy. It's Norway. It's still better than the US, though, according to Botnik. Okay, the royal couple's off on their honeymoon now, so we can, use that as an excuse to end the whole royal couple thing skit. Alright, let's interview Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh, for a scientist like me, everyone I meet is pretty much a theory. It's been said you need both hands to catch the big ball of science, but only one hand to throw it into the sky. Botnik. Today we are thrilled to be joined by the internets and my favorite astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Thank you. Thank you, and everyone else alive today. I embrace disruptions, and I think I'm a professor of curiosity. Well then, Dr. Tyson, tell us a little bit about your background. I want to tell you about science, of course, but if you don't mind, let's start with a short introduction, just in case any of our listeners don't are familiar with your work. I was traveling at the speed of light. The universe chose me to be intriguing and rational. You could calculate the size of my brain, but that would require 1,000 computers. You are one of the world's preeminent science communicators. What led you to choose your path and stick with it for so long? It's been said you need both hands to catch the big ball of science, but only one hand to throw it into the sky. I disagree. It really doesn't matter how many hands you use, only how hungry you are for nature's secrets. And science is the tool you use to uncover these secrets. 1 inch of science can reveal 31 feet of truth. How, how do these quotes sound like some things Neil deGrasse Tyson could say? You use two hands to catch the big ball of science, throw them with one hand, and 1 inch of science can reveal 31 feet of truth? Like, seriously! Wow. Oh, incredible. What manner of truths have you been investigating? Bears may look normal here on Earth or from a distant star, but we shall never actually know their speed limit in space. You might say they were created by the Earth's surface, but they are better suited to survive naked in space. Einstein called these changes the matrix. Fascinating. Let's take a step back and consider the larger scientific community. Whom among your contemporaries do you hold in particularly high esteem? For a scientist like me, everyone I meet is pretty much a theory. That's what happens when you've seen a million different molecules and touched 6 different jewels. Alright, what about historical figures? Who are Neil deGrasse Tyson's heroes? Darwin knew that there were giant problems with the butterfly, and he invented sex to make it into another thing. We all agree that it was the world's most revolutionary innovation. Remarkable. Anyone else? I met Big Bird one time, and it changed my life. Oh, great. Take us through a day in the life of an acclaimed astrophysicist. First, I dress myself, and then I look at my crazy boy body until it reminds me of the universe. On television, I'm dressed scientifically, but in life I don't wear the shoes most viewers would recognize. I have eaten spicy spaghetti with no fork. I have sipped soup without a spoon. There are much more difficult tasks than deciphering the cosmos. By comparison, the universe is just an appetizer. Seriously, some of these things really sound like things that Neil deGrasse Tyson would actually say. The universe is just an appetizer. Speaking of the universe, how do you go about explaining something so massive and complex to a layperson? The universe is a chicken and an egg, but it just continues to get more scientific from there. Could you elaborate on that slightly? Think of the universe as being like a big souffle while I sneak out the back to kill God. Dr. Tyson, he's gone. Oh no. Oh boy. I'd like to thank Neil deGrasse Tyson for joining us today and sharing just a small piece of his insight into the nature of our wondrous, mysterious world. Until next time! Yay! Let's take a look at Mario's Wikipedia page. Back in the days when Chris Pratt wasn't revealed to voice him in the upcoming Mario movie. Oh wait, Mario from Wikipedia. Oh, this article is about. Okay, Mario is a fictional jerk. He is a Norwegian carpenter who mistreats women. Okay, starting off right up the bat with this weird thing. Blue overalls with yellow buttons are the classic outfit of Mario. Super Darkness is purchasable with the golden coins Mario collects. History and creation. After multiple kidnappings, Mario vandalizes and pollutes the entire island using a magic paintbrush. The facial expressions of Luigi across her Hollywood face reveal a deep disapproval. Mario eventually confronts Luigi and power troopers into him, both of them trying. What? After life is restored and multiple battles against each other, Mario and Luigi time ride several leagues into outer space, where a heated argument is all that awaits. This transforms Luigi, and Mario, an idea grows. Superstar Baseball starring protagonist Mario. Superstar Baseball is Mario's baby. Mario will appear shirtless in the game, center stage. In the game, Golden Boy Mario has a major role and plays on a team of all-time super authorities. The game causes Mario to grow larger evil in him. Miyamoto commented that if he had to rescue his creation, he would be upset. Seen on his hat, Mario's emblem represents him in the interfaces of many of the games in which he has appeared. Okay, that's normal. Villains. Mr. Mushroom Lunch is the most successful Mario antihero in the franchise. He's considered to be the most popular video game character in history. The girlfriend of Mr. Mushroom Lunch was previously a Mario girlfriend. I think we'll stop the Mario stuff here. Here's a quick one. I'm a little bit nervous to meet his limbs. He has so many. Emily. I'm a perfect fit for Emily. We both have a humorous uncle. Yeah, that's just a really quick one. That is absolutely quick. Well, this is a video one. Let's watch.
Man, it's definitely a tough loss, and we had our chances. I mean, it is definitely a tough loss when a player is eaten.
Yeah, I think that would be rather tough.
But I believe that they had the chance when they were living. We all have another opportunity to extend the series and not fall to our predators.
Okay.
We've been pretty good at hiding off court through hunting season.
Okay, that's actually good.
We must be alert and wear our home camouflage shorts so we're not seen on the court.
Hope you don't forget him at home.
That is our new way to win and survive.
LeBron, do you just tip your hat when KD makes the same shot from left wing he made in Game 3 last year? And how difficult a shot is that?
No,
Okay.
It is not all the same again.
You didn't answer the question.
Last year we were extremely powerful and the neck of our enemy was always in our fingers. These same majestic warriors stood in awe at the athletic persistence raging across the court. But tonight they were coyotes.
Okay then.
They stole our mission and therefore earned the right to preserve their rule over the 3-point line. Definitely all of civilization itself will remember Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
I mean, that's what he does. He's a persistent grizzly bear.
Okay.
He's an assassin, and it's this primordial nature that bonds us.
And I understand you guys twice, and they almost lost in the Western Finals. And so the question is, are they at all maybe more vulnerable than you thought they were earlier in the year, mid-year, something like that?
At the end of the day, if you want to compete for
You're still not answering the question, man. You're not answering the question. I mean, this is inspirational and all, but answer the damn question.
championship and win the world array, you've got to go through the champion, and there you...
Okay, then. Oh, look, the royal couple sent a letter for us. Let's read it, shall we? My dear wife. Okay, it wasn't for us. I guess it was emailed to the wrong person. King's Dominion is always a great many miles apart from your sweet smiles and friendliness. For the sake of completeness, I went on virtually all the rides and thought about you and the children. I went on the battlefield of rides and attractions for all the evening, and I was wounded in line for almost every ride. And this part of the war, I was not so good. This is a theme park. I am a big fan of the pleasant moments passed rapidly away upon an awesome looping steel coaster that's worth 2 minutes of extreme fun. I was very friendly towards the Volcano Blast coaster, and I think I went there with her all through the mazes of my failures. You will never be prepared for the discovery of my love affair with the greatest pleasure coaster in the world. And this is just... Okay, this is just something someone else wrote. Okay, then. Oh, Botnik also has some reviews for Jurassic Park. Too. Let's see here. Humanity is horrifyingly dumb once again. What makes it bad is the fact that it barely shows you dinosaurs. Just Jeff in some mediocre dinosaur clothes. The dinosaurs make a real mess of the park this time, running around basically just slumming it up like absolute bitches. Don't allow your brain to see this. If you're a $6 tourist in desperate need of a sudden movie, this guy is really good compared to Justice Gang. This movie is very much about death by claw. The biggest dinosaur, terrifying Sam, behaves like a cartoonish bean. God, it's awesome. This $15 movie? No, no, no! It's a terrible script, a waste of Goldblum, and the plot is just a husk of ideas with terrible decisions from characters that didn't make me think. That is what I liked. And anyway, my dad should be charged with murder. Completely different point. It's such a time. What the hell happened, fam? I was pleasantly surprised by Jurassic Park. It's the first movie I've ever seen, and now I'm going to see more movies. I'm sure Hollywood will work on the big movie, which will be the second movie I'll see. Hollywood, give it now, because I like seeing these movies. Good for him. The writing just recycles the same line the whole time. A terrible boom is created. I actually don't think the movie ever showed the boom. What a waste of 10 minutes and 90 other minutes. It is the only thing that any of them say. Was somebody in charge of the dinosaurs? I'm going to say it's a no because they were just going completely wild the entire damn movie. Visuals don't bean about the bush in this movie. Almost as good as the real dinosaurs who I saw 13 years ago in the realm of nostalgia and big screen fun. Oh yeah, it's raptor time. The first part of this lackluster plot is actually really interesting. There's a fantastic dilemma about emotional actors that will stick with me beyond the decades. The rest is about something called dinosaurs. What is dinosaur? Why isn't this ever explained? Otherwise, I guess if you're going to see a movie, this movie is a way to go. How do you not know what dinosaurs are? This movie is mediocre, and I hated how cinematic it was. The dinosaurs look like idiots, and the actors are actually painted on the floor as large-scale comic books. If you're a waste of time with terrible taste, Goldblum and Pratt are both actors, and if we're looking at actors, it's not bad to look at them. True. I guess. I don't know. Alright, let's read a romance novel, because this is clearly the time of year for romance. Hot Guy Jeff is devastatingly sexy and steamy. He's got a really simple rule. Be the ultimate playboy and get through one day without crying. Glory Peterson is a doozy of an intern at the Pentagon. She can barely control the magic demon in her house. When she finds herself caught between duty and love, the demon infiltrating her life becomes a personal assistant instead. And that's it. That's another really short one. Wow, we've got a bunch of short ones today. You know, Avengers Infinity War was said to be the biggest crossover ever at the time. Well, Botnik wants to beat it. Botnik Studios, Infinity War, Int, Peanut's Lair. Mr. Peanut, I will come for the Soul Stone. I will end the Avengers. I will attack the Virginia General Assembly with a top hat and cane. Oh, right, potential spoilers for Avengers Infinity War. Or any Avengers movie. Probably not, but just warning you. Captain America is trapped by vibranium braces. Soon you'll get wrecked by my circular metal protector, whose name I don't immediately remember. My mysterious monocle is sometimes brewing explosions, Mr. America. Okay, too much talking. Steve Rogers leaps onto the balcony and punches through the wall. Rock music plays. Jimi Hendrix. My baby bought 1,000 stars while Natasha watches over her. Yeah, I've got me a Venus witch dream for my sweet angel Captain America. Inside, interior, yellow telecarrier. Nick Fury. Artificial intelligence suggests that I have an unfinished business with a missile launcher and a coffee table. Steve Rogers. I know what I saw. It's called immoral biotech research. If he's talking about finding a way to get the Soul Stone, we might have to break your old girlfriend's laptop. Snoop Dogg. Yo, bitch, please. Blander's Peanut Company is snitches. Nut up and put your vest on your motherfucking face. Holy shit, this is going to be hell. T'Challa enters, carrying a warrior with tomatoes, fennel, and mascarpone cheese. Like Petter, Chef Boyardee is the power source for the city. We can harness him to make a succulent Parmesan cheese sandwich. Iron Man, thanks for coming to the party. I just stole a poncho, so I'm on a roll. SpongeBob SquarePants wakes up in a tank of water. Huh? Nick Fury? Oh boy, you know what? I think we're out of time for a Krabby Patty. TV's Jerry Seinfeld enters. Hey, Superman. Listen up. One of you stole my Yankees tickets. They were a gift from Jerry to Jerry. Enough talk. Squidward screams as Thor swings Mjolnir through the door to the armory. This just keeps going on and on, on and on. I don't know why I'm reading this. We need paper. Smash cut to interior. Dunmer's Mifflin paper. Paper is the most magnificent beast in Loki's desk. I will lead you to the vibranium shield in the workplace. Hulk enters, carrying heavy stacks of paper. Hulk sorted paper. Paper is strange, but Hulk does good job making it straight. This Thor is the name of I, Thor, son of father of Thor. You, non-Thor, are now as Thor's intern of Thor. Tony the Tiger! Hey, Bruce, you can have a tasty snack of energy milk with Tony Flakes. Tony the Tiger looks at Banner closely. Banner turns around sharply and starts transforming into a conference room. Who is this very proud big guy? Yeah, no, we are not reading all this. It's just going to keep on going and making no sense. We already have Mr. Peanut in here. I don't know why I'm not reading this. Look, we gotta keep reading it! And Agent Cooper. This man is germinating the world of crime. What does this mean? Agent Cooper holds up a picture of Mr. P. No, I can't keep going. I can't. I'm so sorry. How about something that makes a little bit more sense for Botnik standards? The Hungrunner Chronicles. The reaping is glorious, or at least that's what they say. To us, the citizens of the city, it is something very bad. Every year, mean animals are directed into the city to hunt us and sometimes even eat our kids. It sucked the first few years, and now it really does. Who am I? I'm just a little girl from the mines who sells bowls. Nothing special. One thing is for sure, I am not the one. Everyone is always talking about how someday the one will show up and end the reaping once and for all. But I don't think I can do that, so I am not the one. Oh, okay. The bad people live in the woods. They murmur twisted words at us from the trees and make things way worse. In the history classroom, we are taught that things have always been this way, but I tend to think that's not true. If the bad people have always been in the trees, then why are they people? Even though I think scary thoughts like these, I still smile to protect my family. The wake-up sound blares through my open window, so I get out of bed and walk to the kitchen. Good morning, little duck, I say to my father, who is not really that animal, but I call him it. Happy morning, my good, beautiful Katniss, is his reply. He calls me that because it's my name. Yet doesn't that apply to every name? I planned a quick kiss on his arm and then run away from our house. In the public market, I spot my friend Gale, who is 18 and has a lot of herbs. He says, "Welcome to where I have my things, Katniss. Do you want one?" And what I say back is, "I want you and nothing but you, little beef man." We look at each other and then look at each other more. Oh man, I think about how I am not anybody special at all and make a big, wide smile. Suddenly, as I glance over at the woods, I notice that a dog emerges from them with a mean face. I make a really loud groan. The reaping has begun. Time stops for a moment as I stare at that awful dog. Is the day of the reaping truly upon us? Everyone knows that the bad people make the reaping happen once a year to remind us how starving we are, but it has never happened this early before. Memory of last year's reaping fills my head like a dream. I shudder when I think of what I saw. I saw so many bands of animals screaming through the city that day, making our lives full of sadness. I saw a free dog shove my sister Susan into a bakery. For me, the worst part was when the building was vibrating and I saw it collapse. There is no way that she could survive that, and there's for sure is no way that she lives in the woods with the bad people now. Well, we never really found the body, but I still feel like she's probably dead. Even my mother also died. Sigh, I think to myself quietly. She was always so pretty in the mirror when I bathed her. Okay, then. It was really sad when she jumped in a well because a lying newt told her it was a good idea. What? She was always the best, and I wish I could smell her right now and be smiling again. My neighbor and the boy I love, Gale, saying Katniss brings me back to the present. I blink several times and say back, "What is it, you volunteer glory hole?" Here in the city, saying things like that is a sign of having a crush. I explain to him that the first dog is the reaping is here, and his eyes go wide like cigarettes. I guess. No, this is going to be psycho. I've never had a beast be nice to me in the reaping. I shake my head thousands of times to show that I agree. And then the reaping ended while I was shaking my head. I turned my back to the edge of the woods. The dog is still there, but now there is a human figure behind it. I fall to my knees in disbelief. The person in the woods. It's my dead sister, Susan. How could this possibly be? It's been so long since I've seen my sister. My eyes filled with sweat and lies. I stand in one place, shaking for minutes, just thinking about how scared I am. Before I can say or do anything, she and the small, mean animal standing next to her are doing a turn and disappearing back into the dark woods. Katniss, didn't you see that? Shouldn't we worry about dying? Asked Gale anxiously and in a scared way. This is too much for me to understand. I grasped my face. I tried anxiously clasping my face and making strange sounds. Gale, my friend, didn't you see how the girl with the dog was a girl we used to know? Are you a squirrel upstairs? Are you just stupid? He makes a pitiful face, so I give him some hugging to show that I don't really mean it. I point out that we should go tell the most important man of the city that the time of weepings is here. But he's the captain of everyone. He won't listen to a couple of newbies like us, says Gale, officially getting on my nerve a lot. You see, we were taught early that that everyone in the city who isn't the most important man is just a dusty little idiot. People like Gale actually believe that stuff. I tell him to shove it up his bottom and start speed walking toward the main building of the city. Oh boy, it's insane how fast they go when I walk this way. I do slices with the crowd with so much speed, and sometimes the stuff in my way gets jumped over. Some people say it's my special power. I tell them my only specialty is to be completely normal all the time. They don't believe me for some reason, but I keep assuring them and they are believing me less. Why is that happening? And I don't know. Why did I say that like it's something I read? It was a joke I made! Before the events of today, I never would have taken my words to the mayor of the city, but clearly I am beginning to feel opinionated. Just imagine me knocking down a front door with muscles, and you will have a good picture of how I'm getting into the main building right now. I pass by a woman with the job of making words at a desk, and I give her a slice of my mind. Listen, you attractive little piece of something. Don't interfere with me or I'll show you how jacked I can be. She gives me a warning face but does nothing to protect the door from my opening. The feeling of surprise and being shocked is flying at me from all directions as I enter the room. I knew the mayor would have more money for his life than I do, but the nice qualities of his room and the things are way outside of what I can believe. He has clothes that aren't made of a million holes. He has a shape on his wall that keeps looking like things being different colors and sounds. The most surprising thing of all, though, he has a face that says he's been waiting for me. Katniss, says the mayor like we're his friends. How funny that you would show up right now. Oh, I'm confused by his words, but I don't let that keep my mouth from doing talk. Shouldn't you know that a bad time of the year is about to happen now? The puppies of the bad people are at the outside of here. One of them was with a human from my family. The mayor just keeps nodding like a submarine and making the I understand face. You need to stay calm, Katniss. Everything will be reported to you in time. For now, all you need to know is one thing. You may be the one. I stare at him with 100 emotions and try to think of words that make sense. Could I actually be the one? Could I be the strong person that the books all talk about? My head feels like a place of nightmares. I start spinning around and thinking hard about questions. I can't believe it. The most prestigious man in the city just told me that I'm the ultimate great person, the one that people talk about in books. I'm so surprised by this new information that I lose my calmness and chuck a grotesque cluster of swear words at the man. You shuck-faced sissy! You dong with a filth personality! I clutch his mouth like a beast to ask him how I could possibly be the one, when I'm actually completely normal in every way. The prestigious man gives out a little whisper laugh. You have much to learn, Katniss. You are much more quirky than you think. He stands in front of his desk, and I can't help but stare at his chest and body as he propels himself with legs over to a box that contains books. Let's see, philosophy of words? No. Duplicity of synthetic understanding? No. Bedtime nationalism summarized? No, no, no. At last, here it is. How understanding who the one is and how to tell him or her they are that. During his look for books, my fist has been pounding the wall 100 times because of annoyance at waiting. My fist now really hurts for some reason, and I don't know why. He does a quick sit with his bottom and begins to read out loud from the book. One day there will be a happy human girl from the coal mine who people call Katniss. She will think she's just a poor whatever, but she will really be absolutely gorgeous and kind of weird, but in a good way. It is her job to stop the not good thing from happening. Those are all the words. The end. Okay, after I hear this, I am sincerely numb with excitement and interest. I am crouched and screaming and full of shudders and covered in fluids. The principal of the city stares at me dreamily and gestures to a chariot I somehow hadn't noticed in the corner of his office. It is time for you to stop being a whiner. It is time for ceremonies. The ceremonies are about to begin. Apparently, it's important to show the crowds of the city that I am the one. So now I have to go ride around everywhere at a slow pace so people can see me. I asked the important man if maybe I should start training for my purpose instead, but he just said that being the one is about turning heads. Now it's about to begin, and my stomach lurches as I climb into my one-person car that an animal pulls. I shoot gloomy looks at the stylists buzzing around me as they deftly clean my skin and get me dressed up. The air has become jammed with complimentary shouts and clothes planning. Comments like, "Oh, how girl-looking you'll be in the scandalous undies," and "these circles of pearls will take eyes off your butt place," are filling my head and making me feel random. And making me feel like the citizens are perverts. Seriously, what is up with those comments? When they're done and I take a look at the glass that reflects, I want to throw up, but it's too late. The doorway is opening before me. A train of cars inches out of city headquarters and into the light of outside. As soon as my eyes adjust, I see that hundreds of kids and people are waiting for me on each side of the street. From their smiles and howls, I get the impression that they are very into me. I see Father in the crowd with my pleasure boy, Gale, so I become grinning at them huge. They have Katniss hat on, and Gale's shirt says, "I tongue the womb!" I grab the mouthpiece for making my voice loud to shout, "I'm loving this someone," at the top of my lungs. We all smile together for a long moment. But the good times don't last for long. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a glistening hovercraft speed towards us from the woods like a phantom. I am actually sort of brave, so I get out of my car and stand my ground. The hovercraft sits down, and out of it comes out another girl of my parents. I stare at her smoking, dust-frosted face for a second or two before running up and holding her hands. She whispers, "Sorry, kid," into my ear, before I know it, gives me a zap of electricity to make me not awake. The last thing I remember is that she drags me into the hovercraft and goes zoom towards the woods. That was, oh my god, actually really interesting. Holy shit, that's a lot to say. Oh boy. Man, I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. But, whatever. Let's keep on going with this one final thing. Actually, no, we're out of time. Never mind. See you all next time for more AI stuff. Bye-bye.